let's flashback 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Wait, was it 2016 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago, right? January 2016, because it's 2018 now, like, what the hell? Where did time go? Anyway, flashback to 2016, January, I was hearing back from Cambridge. I had applied to Cambridge, I had interviewed for Cambridge, and I was waiting for that very important letter, either telling me that I got in or I hadn't got in. And here I am now. Yes, I got in. But let's think about it. Let's flash back and imagine the alternative situation. What happens if I was rejected? Are you coming to sit with me, Milka? Come on then. You'll probably see a little tail. Look, there you go. She literally wants to be in every video. Look, here she is again, everyone. Say hi. Right, sit down there. So today's video, as you have gathered from that little introduction, I thought it was appropriate to sit down and talk about my whole application to university and my experience in doing so, because I can relate to you guys who are either thinking of applying or going through the process yourself now. It is so long, it can be very stressful, and it can either go two ways. It can go really, really well, you can get your offers, you can get into the university that you want to go to, or it can just completely flop. Luckily for me, it went quite smoothly. It was stressful, yes, but ultimately I got into the university that I really wanted to go to. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, Holly, it's very easy for you to sit there and talk about your application when it went really well for you and I'm at the university that I wanted to go to. I know, but I'm doing this video because I want to be able to empathise with those who maybe don't get into their top choice university or get rejected from like Oxbridge, and I just wanted to give you reassurance that if things don't go as well as you'd hoped, it's not the end of the world. That's basically the point of this video. For those of you that are new to my channel and you haven't seen my videos yet and know about that, I am a student at Cambridge. I'm in my second year now and I study biological natural sciences, but to be honest with you, I basically study biology. When I tell people that I study biological natural sciences, it is such a mouthful and it's like, okay. People are like, what is that? Like, what do you study then? So I basically study biology. I'm gonna say now that please comment down below some questions that you have specifically for me about my science degree. I'm going to be doing a Q&A hopefully next week. So if you have any questions about my degree and stuff like that specifically, please comment down below or just like send me a message on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever. Without further ado, we shall start discussing my whole university application, blah blah blah. The universities that I applied to through UCAS, which if you don't know what UCAS is, if you're either not at that age yet when you're applying or you're in a different country, then UCAS is a website online application thing that you apply to universities and colleges and courses through. That's not a very great explanation. So my top choice was Cambridge to do natural sciences. I applied to Imperial to do biological sciences. I applied to UCL to do natural sciences, and then UCL again to do biochemistry, and then I applied to King's to do biochemistry. So that's my 5 and that's my 4 universities. I wanted to do biology at university. That is what I ultimately wanted to study, and so those courses are obviously appropriate. I had my head and my heart set on Cambridge, let's be very real here, and my backup or my second choice, or insurance as you call it, was Imperial. Cambridge was where I wanted to go, and I'm not going to be ashamed of saying that I was really determined to get there, because when you have your head and your heart set on something, then often you are so determined, you work really hard, and that is ultimately what I did. I knew the grades that I needed to get there, so I think it was like 2 A stars and an A. It just been lifted, I think, from the year before when it was like 1 A star and 2 A's. I worked really hard on my interview preparation. I did the interview, I got through my 2 interviews. I then did well in my A-levels to make sure I got those grades, and yes, I got in. So in January 2016, as we established, I think, but it sounds so long ago, 2 years, I head back, and yes, I remember the day. I remember opening the letter. My whole family drove to my school after I finished school, They gave me the letter, which my mum had been feeling like the whole day. She was like, oh my gosh, it's too fat or it's too thin. So I opened the letter and I read it and it was like, congratulations, you got in. I actually can't remember where the letter was. I think I might get it out after this. If Holly is organised enough, then I should know where this thing is. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. I think this is it. I found it. I can't believe my dad thought that you wouldn't be able to hear him bursting out that trombone. This is my letter that I got. Dear Holly, I'm delighted to write to offer you a place to study for the following BA degree. Subject: Natural Sciences. Hey, that was my letter. It has some terms of admission and all that kind of boring stuff. Let's put it away now. It's not that exciting. It's a piece of paper, for goodness sake. It was literally a sigh of relief because I was like, all that hard work that I'd put into the interview preparation, my university application, my personal statement, all that jazz, it had paid off. And the only thing that I needed to do now was, sounds so easy, right? Get the grades. It wasn't easy. It was again stressful, another long few months, but I did it. I was successful. I was so pleased with myself, and my time in school, like my whole A-levels, those 2 years of my life, which were really stressful and really intense, it paid off. So I was really, really happy. Obviously, anybody would be. But I'm now gonna flip the coin and be like, okay, imagine if I opened that letter and it said that I hadn't got in. So I didn't have a firm backup plan. I hadn't exactly sat down and been like, okay, so if I don't get into Cambridge, then I will definitely do this. But I had thought about possible backup plans. Anybody, if they want to go somewhere, they're not really gonna want to dwell on the bad thing or the worst case scenario because you're hoping that that won't happen, right? But obviously, it is quite wise to do so because it will make your life a whole lot easier if you do get rejected, and it will make it easier to manage the bad news. My advice to you guys now, and I'm going to say this, is yes, be determined to get somewhere, because without determination, without hard work, without setting goals or anything, you're not going to achieve such great things or the things that you want to achieve. It is good to have goals that you need to work towards and things that you need to strive to. Be ambitious. Do it. I definitely say apply to top universities and apply to Oxford and Cambridge. If that's really where you want to go, apply. Just do it. You never know until you try. But, and the big but is, try not to be too fixated on that one single goal, because at the end of the day, there are other options. I would definitely say make sure that you have spent a bit of time just thinking about what you would do if you don't get into your top choice, or you get rejected, or things don't go as smoothly as you'd hoped. Just think about that. Maybe sit down, discuss it with your friends, discuss it with your family, just get their advice, and then have that in the back of your mind just when the time comes. So yes, I could have gone to my insurance choice university, and that was Imperial. I would have been very, very happy to go to Imperial, or even UCL or King's, like all of those London universities. I could have been there right now and I would have been happy, I'm sure. Saying that, I didn't actually go and look around Imperial. That was probably a bad idea, and I put it as my insurance. I went to the open day for UCL with my mum. I went to the open day for Cambridge with my mum and my sister. I hadn't looked around King's. Yeah, I'd done work experience there. If I'd not gotten into Cambridge, then I definitely would have gone and looked around Imperial in the new year, once I'd found out from my interview. So that was option A, or one of my potential options. The second was obviously to take a gap year. Had I been rejected from Cambridge or not got through the interview stage, I probably would have taken a gap year, and this is probably the most likely backup plan. In the time leading up to my A-levels, I would have done a bit of planning and thought about what I wanted to do in that gap year, so I probably would have worked a bit, earned some money. I would have maybe done some more studying, reapplied, and hopefully gotten in the second time. I don't know, that is probably the most likely option because, as I said, I really did want to go to Cambridge. But then I did have a third option, and that was dance college. Now that is quite unlikely because, yes, if you know me, you know that I've grown up as a dancer. I love dance. It's like my main hobby, and I've grown up dancing, like doing ballet, modern tap, everything, you name it, musical theatre. One of those kids. My parents had advised both myself and my sister that going to university to get a good degree to fall back on is a really good idea. Yeah, I mean, that was our parents' advice, and obviously it's our decision, but having thought about it myself, I think going to university and having a good degree in your hands is always a good idea. But then I'm not putting it down on a dance college. I would have loved to have been at dance college. It looks amazing when I see some of the people that I know at dance college. I'm like, oh, imagine if I was at dance college. But at the time I wasn't really in the best mental state either, so I don't know how well that would have gone. So there are my 3 backup options: insurance, gap year, or dance college. But I'm here. This is my life now. I mean, it's really strange to think, like, imagine if I wasn't in this position right now. What happens if I had read "you've not gotten a place at Cambridge" in that letter? My life could be a whole lot different right now. Yeah, I mean, maybe I shouldn't have put that much pressure on myself, because thinking back on it, I did put a lot of my pressure on myself to do well, and I was like, I want to apply here and I want to get in and I want to go there, which is all great. And I know that some of you guys out there, if you're applying to top universities or any university, you will be like, I really want to go here, and you'll have your heart and your head set on that. Yes, that is so good, but then I'm like, you really do need to just make sure that in the back of your mind you have a backup plan. Like, facing rejection from any university would be so hard, and I'm trying to think. I can imagine exactly how I would have felt. I would have cried. I would have cried a lot, let's be real here. And it's okay to cry. Like, if you don't get in, yes, cry, let out your feelings. I would have cried for about a day probably. I would have shed a lot of tears, like flooded with tears. But remember that life is not all about one thing. Life isn't about getting into top universities. It's not about getting a good job, earning loads of money. Life is not about that. Life is about being happy. So as long as you're happy doing what you're doing, that's fine. And remember that you can be happy doing something that you hadn't really thought about in the first place. Because say, for example, if I was at Imperial, I'm sure I would be happy. And if I had taken a gap year, I'm sure I still would have been happy. So you can acquire happiness doing a range of things. But yeah, so I just wanted to say, because obviously I know people will be hearing back from Oxbridge, so Oxford and Cambridge at this time, I wanted to say well done for like getting through all the application stage, and well done for putting yourself out there, because when you do apply for top universities, like top universities, you do put yourself out there. Like, for example, in my school where not that many people applied, everyone knows that you're the girl, or those are the girls that applied. And everyone knows that, oh, they're either going to be accepted or they're going to be rejected. You do put yourself out there, and you have to face the pressure not only from yourself, but from those around you. And often you're like, if I don't get in, then other people are going to judge me. They're going to think I'm a failure and stuff like that. And I know that you will think that. But I'm telling you right now, like, you shouldn't care what other people think. You really shouldn't. I know it's so easy to say that and hard to actually do, but you just have to put that aside and do what's best for you, not think about what other people think, because what anyone else thinks is completely irrelevant. But yeah, so I wish you guys good luck. I'm gonna say well done, whatever the outcome is. I don't know, whatever happens. Accept it, move on, don't dwell on it, don't let it affect your life so much. And yeah, if you get in, that's amazing, but if you don't, that's also amazing. Like, you've applied, you've experienced what it's like to apply, and you've got through that stressful time. Like, be proud of yourself. And there are always other options, so don't worry. I mean, I hope this video has been useful for you guys out there, for anyone applying to university or college or anything in life, a job. If you don't hear back from a job, or you get rejected from a job interview, it's the same thing. So I really hope this video has been useful for anyone out there applying for things. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up, and comment down below if you have any questions for my Q&A that I'm going to do. And also, if you have any other questions for me, please leave them in the comments down below. I will try below, who am I? If you're new to my channel and you've subscribed, thank you and welcome. I hope you enjoy my videos, and yes, and I will speak to you in my next video, guys. Until then, you can follow me on all the socials that are down below. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Goodbye. So I said in my last study with me video that my folders were overflowing. Mum got me some ring binders. So I'm going to be organising my folders, and just to let you know, I will be filming it and showing you how I organise my folders.